So this week, the first week of Monster Month of 2022, we will be starting off with floaters from Fallout 2. Now, floaters are the product of flatworms that have been mutated by FEV. These experiments were done from Westech. It was a branch of Westech that had done them in 2075, 2 years before the bombs fall. Now, after the death of the Master had been creating, like the Centaurs, they're botched experiments, but the Master had been creating these as well. After the death of the Master, you can find flatworms in New California, in the Central Valley. They're large, undulating creatures. They have soft bodies and flotation sacs. Yes, flotation sacs that emit noxious, flammable gases, allowing them to kind of hover in the air and kind of bob and weave. Behind me should be pictures of floaters from Fallout 2, and there's also probably a GIF or a picture, depending if I can get the GIF to work. GIFs are weird with DaVinci, the software that I edit with, so there's probably something behind me of what the newer ones look like and what the classic ones look like. Floaters are one of those things that make somewhat sense to me to be on the East Coast. Not entirely, but it's neat to me, and I'll get to that when I get there. Now, I get all of my lore off of fallout.fandom.com, and there's a few things that I wanted to read. There's a few things that I wanted to read directly off the wiki, because I just want to make sure that I capture it in its entirety, in its full essence, because some of it, when you read it, is bonkers. Nuts, even. This one I wanted to make sure I got directly. The primary mouth comprises a majority of the top of the creature's disc-like head. Surrounded by sharp teeth, the funnel-shaped aperture can be rapidly opened or closed. A long tentacle is able to rapidly protrude from the mouth. When a floater attacks prey, the head lowers with the mouth pointing directly towards the target. Its tongue-like tentacle maw is abruptly launched forwards, spiraling through the air with a gasp at its target. A smaller mouth, sometimes called the foremouth, appears as a slit running from the bottom brim of its head into the gaping primary mouth. I wanted to make sure I got that directly, and I didn't want to just copy it down, so I thought I'd read it off the website. Despite looking uncoordinated, they're incredibly fast. They're these almost snake-like creatures. But like I said, behind me will be pictures, but they have, like I said, these sacks that almost, I don't want to say they look like nuts. Truck nuts? Hell yeah, brother. Like, they just have, like, these balls, for lack of a better word, that are fleshy just off of them and just give off this, like, noxious, flammable gas, like I said. Their flexible bodies can also allow them to slither on the ground if they are not floating. They can lay eggs, which is nuts to think that they're reproducing. But during the original FEV experiments, the only sort of reproduction that was actually noticed was asexual reproduction. And for you non-biology majors in the audience today, asexual reproduction means that they're just kind of reproducing with themselves, if I remember correctly. I think starfish are asexual. They get a little flag. In Appalachia, they're similar to the floaters of the West Coast. Again, soft bodies, named after the flotation sacs that allow them to fly. But the Appalachian floaters have a single mouth consisting of an upper jaw and two large mandibles, which are each lined with sharp teeth. A remarkably long tongue is kept folded in the mouth when attacking. The tongue unfurls and shows its length is roughly the same as the rest of the floater's body. Above the mouth is a large singular eye that blinks and squints. Multiple similar eyes are dotted around the head, although only two others are capable of independent rotation. Each floater variant has a different eye color and pupil shape. Gnashers have bright green eyes with cross-shaped pupils. Flamers have yellow eyes with vertical rectangular pupils, and freezers are bright blue. The main body is a thick torso, and the tentacles has multiple tentacles that wrap around to the central tentacle. Two squid-like tentacles, or arms, extend from the sides of the torso and down roughly half the length of the body. Again, there should be pictures behind me. A single tentacle denoted as the tail protrudes from the back of the main body. The torso and limbs are covered with groups of pulsating growths called pus sacs that are used to store volatile chemicals used in combat. The head consists of a single balloon-shaped flotation sac mounted above the eyes. A central ridge of hard materials runs along the top of the head, and the sac continuously pulsates. Gross. Similar to the growth seen on the body, the veins cover the head amidst a growing radiance easily seen in the dark. When killed, floaters bring their arms to their head and emit a loud shriek as the floater sac violently expands upon rupturing. The explosion spreads volatile entrails in a circular radius, leaving a lingering pool of pus for a short duration of time. Like I said, there's a couple variations. There's the burning ones, the freezers, and the regular ones. Now, I don't actually mind there being floaters in Appalachia for one reason. They seem like they have some sort of a distinction to them. If I remember correctly, there is a form of FEV that runs... It's Fallout. It's branching out. What are you going to... Like, at this point, what are you going to do? There's going to be mutants and shit everywhere, right? So, I think Appalachia, being the forest, the woods of West Virginia, flatworms, I'm assuming, are going to be there. They're worms, right? So, unless flatworms are completely unnative to Appalachia, which I doubt they are, it makes sense to me. They're not exactly the same as the ones from Fallout 2, and I'm okay with that. There's actually... behind me probably is a picture of it. In the artwork, the concept art for Fallout 3, there are floaters. They're probably behind me somewhere. It was all supposed to be in New Vegas, and they were cut. That's all I really have on the floaters from Fallout 2 and Fallout 76. That is the first entry in Monster Month. And that, my friends, is in fact this week's lore. Hey, hi, it's Vince. I hope you enjoyed that video you just watched. If you'd like to support in any sort of way, in the description below there's links to my Twitter, the show's Twitter, and the Patreon. You could support at any level, and you could be on screen like some of the names are currently. I hope to see you soon. Thank you for watching, and if you get a chance, check out another one of my videos. I'd really appreciate it. Share it with a friend. Cool. I'll see you guys later. Be safe. I love you. Bye!